All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services Committee meeting for January 27th to order. First up is the minutes. Motion to adopt the minutes from December 17th, moved and seconded. Thank you. All those in favor is carried. Our next meeting in this room will be February 24th, 2026, 4 p.m. I just note that the mayor was planning to attend, and I think I'm going to ask that we just amend the order of the agenda. So we'll take item number 1, number 3, number 4, and then we'll have the First Nations Building Committee terms of reference and referral response be the last item. And so if I can have any opposition to that, support all around? Okay. So we'll ask staff to come up for our first item, 2026 Community Mural Program projects. And if there's anything else you'd like to add, Liliana?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Here to present the report. I do have small amendment to or information to give. I just wanted to add that the school board will cover the expenses for the wall prepping and the anti-graffiti coating for the mural at McNair Secondary School.
Great, thanks. All right, any questions from around the room? We got Councillor McNulty first.
Yeah, thanks very much. Good report. I appreciate the report. The total cost is $55,000, but you may not be able to answer that, but I'll put it out anyhow. How do we increase funding to the arts in this particular case? To me, all of this is capital. Should be in the capital budget. We shouldn't be going from hand to mouth, looking for 2,000 from the Harbor Authority, 5,000 from here, et cetera. So how, through the chair, how do we make sure that there are adequate monies and investment in the arts?
If I can refer this question
I'll pass it on to the brass that know.
Thank you. Through the chair to Councillor McNulty, the mural program is funded through our public art program, so it's funded through. I'm not on yet? Oh.
Yeah.
The community mural program is funded through private developer contributions to the public art program, and we do a request every year to council through the annual budget process to receive funds. So we can look at that for next year, how we recommend those funds are distributed. I think through the arts in general, of course, we see individual projects funded, some through things like the Council Community Initiatives Fund with the mural in Steveston recently, for example, or through our regular operating budget.
Okay, so you gave me the answer that I already know. Now, I'm going to ask the question again. How do we, I guess I'm going to have to make a referral to staff to look at increasing funding to the arts, not taking away from what we've got. We've got a good program, but I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to move ahead in the arts. And the arts are underfunded in the community. And no disrespect, you're working with what money you can have. And that, but the people around this table are the ones that give out the money too. And so I'd like to make that referral to staff to look at how we can increase not only the mural funding, but other fundings towards public art projects within the community. Okay. It means we may have to go to the overall budget and put it in the overall budget as an arts item, and as we do some of the other things. So anyhow, maybe staff can come back with that. So I'll make that a formal referral after.
Yes, I'll come back to you for that. First was the mayor that wanted to comment on that one.
Oh, yeah, simply, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to give more money to the arts, we're going to be considering the grants, including, I think the arts are on next Monday. Just deal with it at that time and just move one way or the other, that we give more money. I think that's a simple answer.
I can do it next Monday, that's fine. Either way.
Okay, great. Thank you for that recommendation, Mayor Brody, and discussion there, Councillor McNulty. We'll go to Councillor Hobbs now.
Thanks, and through the chair, thanks for the report. Just a couple quick comments of the murals that exist, 34 to date and the 7 proposed. I mean, they do look fantastic, and the artwork from the people that were granted the grants, the ones that they've done, I think look fantastic. I definitely have some favorites, and we'll get into that, but they are beautiful. The question I have is kind of along the lines of what Councillor McNulty was talking about, but just in terms of capacity and kind of operational maintenance and that type of thing. Started in 2018, so we're getting towards 10 years. They're 5-year agreements where people look after it, and I'm sure some of them have lasted beyond 5 years. So how are we doing in terms of maintenance of ones that, well, even within the 5 years, they might require some maintenance, but certainly beyond that, they have a lifespan. How are we doing in terms of keeping them up after 5 years, and what's the capacity, kind of operationally speaking and funding-wise as well, to maintain the 34 plus 7 more, you know, so it's getting up there? How are we doing in that regard?
Through the chair to Councillor Hobbs, yes, we are now at 34 murals, and we're gonna, if should council approve today, we'll have 7 more. The murals that are on private land, they are maintained and owned by the organizations or community members that apply to have the murals. Typically, murals are not considered permanent. They are kind of long-term temporary works. We put 5-year agreements with our partners. So after 5 years, the community partner may choose to take down the mural, continue to maintain it, or take it down and reapply to the program. In terms of the city murals, we work with partners from the city, from different departments. For example, with facilities, they help with maintaining the murals on city land. But typically, they're not meant to last for a really long time.
Okay, just one follow-up through the chair. Out of the 34 that we've done so far, how many are still up and vibrant, say?
Through the chair to Councillor Hobbs, all of them are still up. We've had one that had to be repaired, not a huge repair, but some of the paint was starting to peel because it was facing south, and it is a little bit of work, but now it's been touched up and hopefully would last a little bit longer. But so far, all of them are still up.
Okay, thanks. I mean, I think like most of us around the table, we don't hear anything except positive comments about them, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Hobbs. If no other discussion, then we'll look for a motion, recommendation, seconded. All those in favor? Any opposed? That is carried. Thank you. We're skipping over along to item number 3 now, volunteer management strategy, the guiding principles. To staff, Ms. Hadfield and Ms. Baines, I believe. Yeah. Anything you'd like to add to the report?
Nothing further to add, Mr. Chair.
Any discussion, comments? We got a question here coming first for Councillor Hobbs.
Sure. Thanks, and through the chair. Yeah, just a quick one. I mean, the guiding principles all sound, you know, really sound, so that's good. I wonder just in terms of volunteers, if you could comment on kind of where we're at in terms of, you know, we have a lot of youth volunteering for certain kinds of things. We have, it seems like a lot of seniors volunteering for certain things, and then people get busy with life and move on for university or kids or work or whatever. And so kind of the peaks and valleys and challenges of the volunteer picture in Richmond. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Through the chair to Councillor Hobbs, thank you. Definitely our highest number of volunteers comes when they are youth. We have in 2025 over 1,300 youth that volunteered for events and programs. After they hit about 25, we definitely see that drop off that you're talking about, and we then see the numbers that we have in adult volunteers almost double once people pass that age of 55 and either semi-retire or retire. So that's really the trend that we see. The challenges lie, sometimes we've heard from our community association boards, they have trouble getting, you know, recruiting volunteers for those. Generally though, our volunteer program is very stable. We haven't seen huge peaks and valleys over the last couple of years. We seem to have stabilized.
Okay, thanks. Because I mean, just an observation is over the decades, it seems like the volunteer kind of base or demographic overall has changed a lot. So anyway, thanks for that answer.
Great, yeah, and it's positive to hear that the trend has been quite stable, because I've heard recently at the Metro Vancouver Regional Parks Committee that they have had a drop last year, and they're looking at ways to surge that volunteerism back up, so. Anyhow, no other comments, questions, we'll take that motion I think I heard from Councillor McNulty and second over there, all those in favor? Any opposed, that is carried, thank you. Our item number 4 now, engagement plan for the multi-use covered recreation and sport court. And same staff, anything you want to add to that?
Nothing further to add, Mr. Chair. Staff are here to answer your questions.
Great, thanks. Councillor McNulty.
Yeah, thanks very much. I'm supporting the report 100%. And I guess it's a technical point. On page 50, we're talking, this is a working title. So my question is, how do we update all our documents for the working title, such as the 5-year capital plan, et cetera, so we understand what's in the plan, and varies as we go. You're saying multi-use covered recreation sports court, perfect, no problem, I can understand that, but let's make sure it's out there and put in the 5-year capital plan or wherever it is, and other documents that we need to have it. Okay, that's all I ask.
General
No, I
Manager.
agree with how you've given a very broad range of activity, and I believe once you start consulting, you're going to even have more. So I think be prepared. That's all I'm going to say, be prepared. It's good. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Councillor Glanders.
Hi, thank you through you to staff. Yeah, thanks for the report. Excited to see this moving forward. I'm just curious when approximately you think you'd come back with the results of the engagement.
Through the chair to Councillor Galanders, engagement will begin towards the end of February, so we anticipate coming back in Q3.
And then, so during that, when you're consulting with the sports groups, would you also ask for their feedback on some of the existing boxes? And because some people have issues with parking at some of them, and they are going to explore things like that, the feasibility of all the logistics of using which existing locations.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Galanders, engagement will try to understand need and priority and use and what's working and what's not to fully understand priorities.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks.
Great, thanks. Just a couple, I see General Manager, Mr. Gross.
Through the chair to Councillor Glanders, just to add to that, we're also doing the field and sport court strategy review, and that'll be part of that process.
Great, thank you for adding that. Just to have further comments on the engagement plan. So mentions a number of organizations that are organized that will be engaged with. We're also going to reach out to ad hoc groups that don't necessarily have websites and posted organizers. So we'll be reaching out to maybe the Thompson Community Center staff to go out there on a regular basis and maybe see those groups that frequent the area but don't have established organizations. And we'll also be putting up signage on the existing courts as well. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, terrific. Yeah, because I know in the last couple of years we've heard some conflict, especially at Thompson, between regular hockey, street hockey users and cricket. And I noticed that neither of those kind of showed up here as ad hoc and yeah, they both have sticks, so you gotta watch out. Yeah, so anyhow, that's great. No comment, moved second, all those in favor? Any opposed? That is carried, thank you. We're gonna move our way back now to item number 2, the First Nations Building Committee Terms of Reference and Referral Response. So staff first, and then anyone from the audience, and then we'll have some discussion.
Nothing further to add. Happy to answer any questions.
Great. Any questions for staff from anyone at the table? Okay, there is from Councillor Glanders.
Thank you. Through the chair, thanks for the report and all the backup information we've gotten. And it's helpful to see everything, and definitely feel like we need to move forward on this. So regarding the part of the referral, so staff investigate the historical use of the building as a smokehouse. And, we received an email that it looks like we didn't actually investigate that use specifically, and we just referred to old reports. But is it sort of that, because I do see in the existing standing report that's in this report, is that saying it was, there would have been communal living going on in there. There likely would be ceremony, ritual, and certainly there would be probably fires for heat, and so it is a smokehouse, likely. But we didn't sort of get like an elaborate archaeological investigation of the types of vents that are in the ceiling and stuff like that just yet, per se. But is that something that can go on when we move forward with the construction, that they'll be identifying significant features like vents and certain things, and make sure that those are rebuilt properly, and then that we could interpret those and refer to them in the programming? Is that sort of the plan?
Yes, through the chair to Councillor Galanders. I guess two parts to that. One is the building has been very well documented with video images and photos and that kind of thing. As it's deconstructed and salvaged, everything will be labeled and maintained. There has been a fair amount of research done on the building to date. Part of the key next step with the approval of these terms of reference will be inviting Musqueam to join the group. And to date, we haven't heard directly from Indigenous people as it relates to the history or the use of the building. So there will be more to learn about the building as we move forward.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think we need to have that mindset, is that we don't know exactly which groups live there. We don't know everything. But we have to kind of get the ball rolling, because we've got this grant funding that needs to be used by when?
March 2027.
So then if we're open and ensure that we're consulting along the way, that we'll be able to keep incorporating what we learn.
Sorry, March 2028.
Yeah, I thought it was more than that. Yeah, I know, like 27, what?
Sorry, I should always double check before I answer.
But still, that will come up before we know it.
It will.
So we do have to kind of get going with I think with the faith and trust that we'll continue to uncover more and leave it open to always learning more as more oral history might come forward. People say, you know what, we heard about this place and it was like this. And so we don't determine exactly what it is today, but we're able to go forward by keeping it as identical as we can. Is that sort of the plan?
Yes, through the chair to Councillor Galanders, the program that was approved by council in 2024 outlines that the building will be reconstructed to maintain the aesthetics of the building as it looks today.
Oh, sorry, just a follow-up. Maintain the aesthetics, but also incorporate as much of the original materials as
Yes.
possible, right?
Yes, through the chair, yes.
Like as much as possible.
Yeah, the building will be deconstructed, and as much of the materials that are salvageable will be salvaged and reintegrated back into the building. And I guess I would also point out is that the building committee will continue to be involved as we move forward in the project. So much like the Steveston Historic Sites Building Committee, as we're working through detailed design and construction, we're consulting with them on details related to window design, related to selection of materials, so that similar process will occur with the First Nations Building Committee.
Just one more question. Would you mind just explaining again the different types of restoration options that were available and why we had to go with rebuilding as opposed to anything else?
I'll let Martin answer that one.
Through the chair to Councillor Galanders, we did investigate a couple of options. One of them was to lift the building and try to put a foundation to keep it as it is. Unfortunately, the structure, through the structural kind of review, is condemned, so we cannot actually make that happen. We engaged several contractors to see if that is possible, about 3 or 4. They all gave us letters that it's not possible to do, and if it is, they are willing to keep on trying on a cost plus, so we don't have an actual budget. And after discussing that with the committee members did vote on it, and we decided to deconstruct and reconstruct, knowing that, just like you mentioned, the grant could be at jeopardy should we not start now.
So we couldn't get an answer and a way to move forward with any other way.
Through the chair to Councillor Galanders, that is correct.
Thank you. I'll listen to others for now. I might have one more comment later. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Councillor Day.
Thank you so much. I just handed out some pictures that I took when I was at the BC Royal Museum in Victoria just this last summer. And they have an amazing display of the Britannia shipyards. It's like a model. And then they built like a longhouse, which isn't what we're going to build, but it's so beautiful. And the history that is in that display is just, you just come away with a better understanding of how Indigenous people lived many, many years ago. So I just couldn't be happier to, number one, be on the board, to move this forward. And I'm really pleased that council is going to support this motion because it's going to be a very exciting building and it's going to be incredibly educational. And, I thought the Chinese bunkhouse was cool, but this is going to be even cooler. So thank you.
Great. Is there any other discussion on the table? Councilor McNulty?
Yeah, thanks very much. I'll be supporting the report two things. We just got a memo of the previous resolutions, and I'm trying to find it on here. We've already passed some things, and we should have that with the report. For Monday, can you give everybody a hard copy of the original resolutions? I got it this afternoon. I think we all got it. Okay, what was approved? I think it's important to have all the documentation, even though this is a separate report on it. Because it outlined also in those resolutions and in that other report, it outlined all the process that we were going to go through. Like we've already established it, so we can't be changing things in midstream, in my opinion. You've already had direction, we're following it, so let's follow it. The other question, I read some of the material that just came out very, very recently, and I appreciate what Councillor Day has, but I think given the approach with the Musqueam, I think we really have to work on be very tender in the way we go with them. Okay, and we need to approach them. I approached them to utilize, I want to use some material for a book I did on Sea Island because they had 2 counts on Sea Island. And so I'm just saying we need to be very careful and we need to focus totally on the Musqueam on it because they are our nearest band. We don't have any other bands on our 21 islands. So I'm just giving everybody a heads up on approach and inclusion. And on it, it will make our life easier down the road. And not only that, something like this reflects on the other things that we're wanting to do. Like as you or may or may not know, they were going against the Middle Arm Park. They were against certain other things, et cetera, in our relationship. So I'm just looking to put the talking stick out, and hopefully that's accepted. So on it and make it as much, quote, First Nations as possible. Okay, that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Take us to the Mayor Brody.
Yeah, I was gonna say this a little bit later, but given what Councillor McNulty said about the Musqueam, I think that we should, if we want them to participate, we need to give them a vote. I don't know why we wouldn't. So in due course, I think that should be changed in the, I guess in the motion and, sorry? Okay, well, so what it would be is that attachment 1, which is the terms of reference, would refer to the fact, no, all we need is in the report. The resolution is to approve the terms of reference in the report. Just add to that, provided that the Musqueam would be a voting member of the advisory committee.
Yes. So that's the amendment's been seconded. Did you catch that full motion? Okay. So on the amendment, any comment on the amendment? Yeah. Okay, Councillor Glanders.
Thank you. I just have some concern with that. If we can't, because we can't always get somebody on board per se that wants to participate at that level. Like, so if somebody from Musqueam doesn't want to come on and have a vote, then do we not get to keep going? Like, would we make it 7 then, from 6?
We would offer that to them if they choose to decline. That's okay. They can come on as a non-voting member, or they don't have to participate. But
Okay.
it will be better if they do participate in some way, and
Yeah.
more likely if they have a vote.
Okay.
Anything else, Councillor Glanders?
No.
No. Okay, so that is all the discussion on the amendment. All those in favor? Amendment? Okay, that is carried. Now back to the main motion, which is not on the floor yet, still in discussion, because I'd like to see if there's anyone from the public. No, the main motion hasn't been voted. Hold on, yet before we move it, I'd like to just call if there's anyone from the audience who'd like to speak add to the discussion today. Okay, thank you. It's been moved, okay, second. Okay, if there's no further discussion I see on the table, I would like to comment on a few things here then. Yeah, so I appreciate us getting the info last minute here and a reminder on what was approved back February 2024, and highlighting the fact that I don't think the whole smokehouse investigation has come to fruition yet. Still work to be done there. We did receive a number of letters, correspondence from former Councillor Harold Steeves, who's unable to be here today. And so there's a few things from there I just wanted to bring up before my comment on the actual terms of reference that we're voting on today. So I feel like there's a lot of information we have that needs to be discussed in closed. We've received information from our city solicitor that some of this information is not meant to be discussed in open. I know we don't have every member on council here today. So my thought is that we have a closed discussion at our upcoming GP, whereas most likely everyone will be there. And that still will happen before this goes to council, as opposed to recessing this meeting now, going to close and coming back to it. I think we've all received the information, knowing it'll be on the agenda, that we have any discussion with legal, because we also don't have a city solicitor in the room right now. So those are my thoughts. Also just wanted to make mention that the option of retention of the existing building using steel beams to keep the building upright, I think is losing support around the committee, not this committee, but the First Nations Building Committee, because it loses the programming and it's so tied to the funding. But I do see there is value in that. Just like there is natural areas that we don't allow any people to visit because humans cause problems wherever we go. And in some cases, historic sites, conservation lands, are to be preserved as they are built, not as they are rebuilt. And so I do see value in that option. I do note the hesitation of delaying any further because of the tie to the funding. But so anyhow, that is on my consideration for how I'm going to vote on this item. Thanks. So I see there's some other discussion I've spurred. Sorry, Councillor McNulty?
No, I'm just trying to, I missed something. I mean, you said we should have an in-camera meeting. We're dealing with this report, okay? We have a process, and as far as I'm concerned, the report goes forward as it is. And if we have anything, we deal with it in public on Monday. And those that want to pro or con or whatever they filled on the report. I'm just trying to figure out why we would suggest an in-camera meeting. From what here, there's nothing here that isn't thing so that's all I'm trying to understand. And I think in order for us to say we want an in-camera meeting, we should declare publicly what we're going to talk about.
Yes.
What's sensitive in here in this report that we should go in camera on? I'm trying to understand, that's all. Help me out.
Fair.
You're the one that brought it up,
Yeah,
I'm
and
just trying to say,
and
as far as
it-
I'm concerned, it goes Monday, and I'm gonna support it now, and I'm gonna support it on Monday.
Yeah, so it's not clear to me how I could even word it in open, because legal, the way legal worded, the fact that part of this needs to be confidential, it's basically who's invited to join the committee. That relates to something that needs to be discussed in camera due to ongoing lawsuits. I think that's as far as I can say right now.
Okay, so, well, we don't have any legal here, okay.
Mayor Brody?
Okay, all right.
Well, on that point about a closed meeting, as far as I'm concerned, this committee should be getting this as far as they can. If we need a closed meeting, let's have it right now and talk about whatever it is. You would state the reasons why it qualifies as a closed matter, and we would go into a closed meeting. Secondly, all the motion is today is to approve terms of reference. The course was set for this building a year ago with the January 2024, 2 years ago, was set a long time ago, and on we go. So I don't think that is on the table today. All it is to talk about the terms of reference. And you know, if the chair or anybody else has some other matter that should be considered, then we would expect it to be brought forward in the usual way, probably some written materials or some kind of a memo or something to know what we're dealing with, but maybe most importantly would be the reasons why it would go into closed.
Okay, well, I will call then, or make the recommendation that we go into closed because relating to the terms of reference before us, there's a potential, the representative that we're looking to add may not be the most suitable one.
You don't need to specify just.
And that, for that reason. Okay, then I would move that we move to in camera.
Personally identified people or groups.
Okay.
Question on the motion on the floor.
Okay.
That's the terms of reference.
I think it may pertain to that. If I may say, Mr. Chair, it sounds like it may pertain to that. So my suggestion is you have a motion to table this until after a closed meeting and then resolve to go into closed.
So moved.
Okay.
Move to table.
Okay, so a second. All those in favor? Okay, and I would like to move that we go into closed, and then we'll return. Those opposed is carried with myself, Councillor Wolf, opposed. That takes us to our manager's report, for which we have two parts, and we also have the on-table memo for both of them.
Just have one manager's update today, and that's the monthly update on the Kiowa Maru and FIFA planning. So we've been in communication with JMETS in regards to the Kiowa Maru's visit, including an online meeting, which was very helpful. And we've now negotiated what we believe will be the final program for their visit. They've confirmed that they'll be at the dock for 7 days as originally anticipated. We have learned through our planning process that they are no longer able to perform sail drills for safety reasons. So they are hoping to be able to unfurl a couple of sails to demonstrate, but unfortunately they will not be able to provide sail drills. The capacity and the hours for public viewing was less than we had anticipated. We brought a program forward to council where we were hoping to negotiate for a little bit more boarding and viewing than they are able to provide. And in addition, there will only be 1 day where students will have access to the ship. The school program is designed, though, to have an in-school component, and students will still be able to visit the park on the days that the program, where they're not able to board. So that will still occur. Attachment 2 provides a table that outlines the program that was delivered in 2017, what we brought to council, and where we are now. So you can have a look at that and sort of see a comparison to 2017. Let me know if you have any questions. So our next step, now that we have those details sorted out, will be to enter into a formal agreement with JMETS to provide the appearance fee to the boat, as well as engage the shipping agent to coordinate the details of the visit. In terms of the Richmond Celebrates Soccer program, I think you all would have been aware that our Community Celebration Grant program opened, including the Richmond Celebrates Soccer stream. So we're starting to receive applications for that program. We've attended a workshop getting more information about sort of the levels of viewing. Unfortunately, still no costs have been provided for viewing rights, so we're waiting for that to be announced, and we'll certainly share it with council once we have that. And the province has released information about funding opportunities, and our intention is to apply to the province for a grant to help support our FIFA activations here in Richmond. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, we have a few here. Councillor Day.
Thank you so much. Through the chair, the last time the Karamaroo was here, there was people in boats taking people around to see it from the water. Was that private shuttles, or is there something we can do to just give more opportunities to see it?
Through the chair to Councillor Day, we're still in the sort of early-ish phases of program planning for the event, and certainly opportunities to view the boat from the water is something we can look at. We did offer some sort of boat cruises as part of the last program, and I think there were some private operators that were using it as an opportunity to get people out on the water.
Okay, more the merrier. Thank you.
Councillor Hobbs.
Thanks, through the chair. Considering that it sounds like it's a more restricted access in terms of the number of people, number of students, the sail drill, all that kind of thing, is there a possibility, and maybe particularly for students, to have more of a virtual interactive opportunity in addition to going and looking at the ship? You know, something that maybe could be done with the school board, and even with people on site, maybe at Britannia or something, just, you know, virtual tour. You know, the sail drills that were done in the past are probably all captured on some kind of video, just to kind of give people a more fulsome idea of what it can do and what it looks like inside and out, since we're going to have more limited access. Is that something in the works, or something that could be in the works?
Yes, through the chair to Councillor Hobbs, absolutely, that's something we can look at, yeah.
Councillor McNulty.
Yeah, I'm just curious, the dates are confirmed?
Yes, the dates are confirmed.
What are they again?
So it is April 30th arrival. And
They will arrive on
yeah,
April 30th.
yeah, and the event will be June 2nd and 3rd. May 2nd and 3rd.
You're
Having
gone
date
for 6
issues
weeks.
today. May 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, I think, given, knowing, unfortunately, a couple of young lads in Yokohama dropped from the crow's nest basically down into the I won't say the hold, but 2 young people were killed in their thing. And you have to remember the young lads go up there, and the ladies as well, go up there with the Japanese style shoe, which is a shoe, it's a sock. And so basically barefoot, and there's no attachment to anything. There's no lines of attachment. So I think we have to roll with the punches. I think we've done as well as we can. I think more people will be issued to just to be able to see the ship in port again. And I'm hopefully, and I'm not sure who's on the school board liaison, but this would be a very, as a former educator, and there's another one in the room, this would be an extremely good time to have a lesson on local history, and in particular, the Japanese community. Knowing the Japanese here in 1888, and starting along with many other Japanese coming in here. And I think somehow if that could be discussed at the board level and offer a suggestion, and I'm sure the Japanese community, through the Japanese language school or whatever, would provide all kinds of teaching needs. And I can give you all kinds of stuff if you want on that, and so can others in the community. With lots of resources. You remember, we still have a significant Japanese population here. So anyhow, thank you very much for the update and on that. But I think we should be starting to publish it and letting people know that it will be coming, and or they will be coming, and let them know, and hopefully we'll have it. Obviously, we're going to have to talk to, through the chair, to Mr. Mayor. We're going to have to talk to Coast Mountain Bus Lines, because people are, hopefully they'll line up. They did when we first had them, 135,000 people down there. You can't get into Stephen. You think the Salmon Fest is bad. Well, this could be even worse. So we're going to have to have some buses deadheaded down there and away from there, and there's no parking. We're not going to be able to park all the way up to Stevens Highway. There's no way we're going to park in there. Anyhow, that's another issue, so we'll pass that on to Lloyd B. and Company.
Great. Steph, want to respond to that?
Yeah, through the chair, yes, we will have a transportation plan, and I think we actually had a very effective transportation plan last time where we added sort of a dual shuttle system. We had a large shuttle that brought people to Steveston and then a smaller shuttle that ran back and forth through Steveston. So we'll certainly look at that as part of the planning. And also just, I'm attending the Council School Board Liaison Committee meeting tomorrow morning to provide updates on both Kaiwa Maru and the Richmond Celebrate Soccer opportunities.
93 days.
Yeah.
Question I had was, a few months ago, I asked if we knew if the Kaiwa Maru was coming just for us and then going back, or if we were able to piggyback the cost because they were then going to go to some other local stop. Do we know?
To the chair, they're stopping at Hawaii. They're stopping in Hawaii on the way back, but they have no other stops on the West Coast.
Okay, that's all. And no further questions on that. Then we'll call for adjournment. All those in favor, we are adjourned. Thank you.